All right, good morning, guys. Let's get started in just a second. UNH back to 280. All right. Very interesting. Wow. Pretty nice bounce. Crazy. Any news on that? Let's see. Started bouncing around 7, 8 o'clock. No news. Wells Fargo adjusts price target to 306 from 351. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. It's kind of sketchy right now, but I do think it's going to settle out here pretty soon. Yep. Okay, let's look at some small caps real quick. Link Home. Looks like an IPO from yesterday. Let's take a look. Initial public offering. Yeah, it looks like an IPO. Leading AI-powered real estate platform. Leveraging artificial intelligence. That means they have Grok. Their realtors are now using Grok, basically. That's probably what that means. It's probably more complicated than that. But interesting IPO. Huge move yesterday, came back down, sort of bouncing back up. Interesting for sure. MCVT, I would say this is the leading gapper here today. We got a little bit of news. So they took a loan. Non-bank lender specialty finance company announced it has amended a $2.5 million credit facility by increasing the interest rate from 15% to 24%. Okay, so they're a lender. So they increased their interest rate and extending the maturity date. In addition, the company funded a new $400,000 secured short-term loan bearing 24% interest rate. So wait, they secured a loan. So they borrowed $400,000, is that what that means? Wait, the company funded a new $400,000 short-term loan. Okay, so they funded a $400,000 loan with a 24% interest rate. They're a lender. So more than $400,000 was traded this morning. Funny how that works. So we'll keep an eye on this. This is a super nice looking setup. Might get a short on it. definitely one to watch. ICCM. Ooh. Fresh runner. Going to add this one. ICCM. What's going on here? Breast cancer conference. Oh, they updated some data showing 99% reoccurrence free rate. So good data results. Nice. Another potential short. HTOO. This one's a super low float. Be careful with this one. Fusion Fuel announces a new LPG projects for subsidiary AI. Shola Gas. So they're getting some projects. For the installation and maintenance of liquefied petroleum. And the supply of bulk LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, across multiple large-scale residential and commercial developments in Dubai, in the UAE. Happy Friday! So we've secured some work. Okay, what matters is how big are these projects. So we've got the largest new project is $1.9 million. Wait. Oh, that's not real money. That's fake money. And real money, $500,000. So that's $500,000 for their biggest project. Okay, so we have also a 20-floor high-rise residential comprising of 722 apartments, 241,000 in real money, 800,000 in fake money. So some decent little projects. It's nothing huge. Nothing huge. Probably more dollars will trade on the stock today than all these projects combined. So it's kind of like peanuts. So definitely want to watch this. Let's see, I gotta make room. HTOO, all right, on the watch list. Okay, we've got a few things on the back burner watch list. LCID is still kind of interesting. Don't want to get rid of that. Okay, here we go. Still watching these memes. Take a look at those in a sec. HCTI, the next gapper. This one's too cheap. ATNF. Up and down. This is one of those really scary pre-market spikes. Goes up 150% in 2 or 3 minutes. So people shorting straight into spikes like this, guessing the top, can get blown out pretty easy. You know, these can go 500% just like that. So that's just an avoid. Unless it comes back later for a bounce short. OCTO, what is this? What is this? No news. Yeah, maybe we'll keep an eye on it. That's pretty much it for the gappers. Oh, ICCM. Did we already look at that one? We already looked at that. Okay. This is probably just a notable mention here on GSIW. But imagine buying into this offering, buying the dip, swing it overnight, make 30% overnight. Not a terrible trade at all. Going to be looking into that kind of idea. It's kind of a niche trade, though. Going to have to back test it to make sure because, you know, the other offerings don't have to bounce either. All right. We got open door, meme stock, hanging out pretty sideways. The next setup on these is going to be if they can bounce more. This is a kind of a weak bounce. Maybe this is all it can do. Just shows up as a little top wick here on the daily. So potentially that's all it can bounce, but a lot of times they bounce more than that. I would rather see it bounce up towards $354 for a backside bounce short. But if it can't do that, then we're going to be watching. Let me get rid of this line. The low right here, $2. Watching the support breakdown. If it can crack support there, we're going to have a nice fade. But it's got some work to do. No rush on that. So at this point, it could either go up to 350 or it can just fade. So it's middle. It's like middle of the road right here. So just watching that. Let's see, BMNR. See, this one never bounced. This one just never bounced. Now, maybe this one could bounce. Whenever these are true scams, though, they just don't bounce. And it hasn't cracked yet either, so really annoying one, but still a potential short if the volume doesn't dry up too much. We're looking at 20 to 50 million shares trading a day, so it's actually got plenty of volume, trading at $40. So BMNR, want to see support crack. The hourly looks more promising. Yeah, it's like the same thing as open here on BMNR. We want it to bounce, hasn't bounced yet, or we want support crack and we want to fade it back to $20. Pretty much it. We have KSS, another meme. More recent, but Support break would be 1180. And maybe it wants to bounce though. Again, we want it to bounce. Some sort of retracement. Like 60% retracement off the top would be nice. So somewhere like 17, 18 bucks on the bounce would be nice. Maybe start looking for the bounce short there. If it can't do that, or if it does come back down after that, then we're looking for the support break at 1180 to fill this gap. Not as much downside on this one, but there's a chance it just totally gets decimated because it's just a big short squeeze on a meme stock. I don't know. This probably isn't going to hold up very well. Probably. We'll have to see. The better trade for the costs would be, or calls would be the bounce short if it actually bounces, which still could. GoPro. Similar situation. Hopefully it bounces. I was trying to go after this one yesterday for a second red day because it looks like it could have had a red day to come back down to $1. So I was hoping that would happen. We ended up with a doji day. Now maybe we get the red day today. I would kind of bet we're going to have a red day today on GoPro. That would make sense to me. And then once it gets back to $1, then maybe we get the bounce. So far it's riding the high of this first day. So kind of that's the major level it's holding. All right, I think that's all the memes. Except GameStop. GameStop is... I don't know if GameStop sparked this whole thing because it did have a big move on the 21st. And that's around the time all these memes started running. So I'm pretty sure GameStop happened first. Let's see, KSS. What day was that? 22nd. So KSS ran on the 22nd, and that was the first big move on the memes. Actually, Open ran first. But Open was already running. So Open was already on a big multi-day move. It peaked on the 21st. So the 21st seems like the top, and I don't know if Open was the leader. Probably Open was the leader. Maybe that pulled GameStop up a bit. And then that led to KSS and GoPro. Of course, GameStop's already back down. Max pain on GameStop is 23.50. So if it ends around 23.50, that would be max pain. So it's probably going to end right around 23.50 today. Again, I have a weird, kind of a weird setup on GameStop. I'm just selling calls. So I have some shares, selling some calls on GameStop. I ended up selling some calls right here. These yellow lines are my strike prices. So I sold some 24.50 and 25 calls this week. So those are in good shape. Basically, the cost basis is $22.50 right now on GameStop. All right. We have some potential trades. Hood was a nice breakout pullback from the watch list yesterday. Pretty clean one. So nice pullback to the trend line. So I traded that one yesterday. Did pretty good on it. So here's the trade. Bought the dip to the pullback, and then I just sold into the bounce. Went a little bit more than that. But you can see that trend line is just pretty perfect. Nice breakout pullback into the bounce. One of the best setups in the market for the big caps especially. So Scotty looking for Hood, watching the Golden Cross. Yeah. Definitely super interesting. It seems like it wants to bounce there to me. Just because it hasn't really bounced yet off of this pullback. I would like a bounce. Doesn't have to bounce. Yeah, that looks like if it breaks that trend line, I'll probably wait for a breakdown pullback here and then hit that one too. I like the breakdown pullback, breakout pullback. It's one of the best things. All right, 1 minute to the bell. Good luck, everyone. See what we can get going today. Of course, the bot is crushing the new short setup. Yes, long bias until UTL breaks. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll probably be shadow trading the bot going forward until I can get it hooked up. On that, the short strat is not hooked up yet, but it is paper trading. And the back test is looking pretty nice on it. All right, let's see what we get. Our Schwab swing is looking pretty good. Swing. All right, Baba looking kind of weak, pulling back. It really wants me to buy back into Baba. Had a nice swing on Baba. It's trying to suck me back in. Sort of a breakout pullback on Baba on a bigger time frame. Tesla bouncing off of the 301, 302 area pretty nicely. Going to be backtesting this short for pre-market short strategy relatively soon. I have some work to do to get to that though. Going to be doing a day 2 gap up short strat and a pre-market short to add to our other short strategy. Wow, ICCM. So basically MCVT is the pre-market short strat. ICCM maybe. Not really up much. It's not up enough probably. All right. Kind of a slow morning so far. Things can always heat up. Wow, UNH ripping back up. Back to 284. Oh, there was another healthcare related stock. What was that? Apparently that one got hit pretty hard. Let me find it. CNC. What is this? Yeah, it is CNC. Oh. So they had bad earnings and then it came back up. That's interesting. So UNH is going to kind of be mirroring this. I think they're sort of tied to each other a little bit. So UNH is running big. This one's running big too. CNC. Pretty slow morning for me, other than the UNH is going nuts. Tesla should have been long at low 300s, 303, 302. Intel going down into, wait a minute. Oh, they had earnings yeah, after hours yesterday. Oh man. See, I should have put this one on the watch list too. This is a nice trend break. Wow. New gen short NVIDIA. 173.39. Looks like that's working out pretty good. I guess the big question for Tesla now is, can it fill the gap? It's got quite a gap to fill to get back up to 328. Scotty Long Hood at 101.30. Looking nice. Yeah, I think It's got a nice little short-term trend break here too. Like to see that. Small cap's very, very weak. Okay, D Pro is hanging in there. Big potential multi-day breakout. I will see if it holds up. Need to see a dip hold somewhere. Okay, GoPro is having a red open. No shares on HTOO for me. Ooh, Coinbase week. That's interesting. Hood is up, coin is down. Slow morning, except UNH. Hood looks nice. Tesla looked nice at 303 for a dip buy. Be careful with NVIDIA. It's the kind of stock that just doesn't want to go down. UNH maybe bounce short opportunity for a day trade. Yeah, Hood was the play this morning. Looks like Hood and Tesla. Scotty out hood, high day, nice. Beautiful trade. Yeah, at least you were in hood. That was nice. Stopped on Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia is a tough one to short. Thinking maybe UNH bounce short right here. Nvidia looking weak. I don't know. Looks pretty strong to me. Maybe breakdown pullback here. Yeah. Potentially. Yeah, I probably won't bet against Nvidia. Something else with Nvidia, if on the bigger picture trend line, it broke the trend line the other day and reclaimed it. So that's usually a super, super bullish signal. Usually I buy those when they do that. Nvidia is also leading the AI revolution. Everything that uses AI needs Nvidia. And the CEO of Nvidia just went on news the other day and said, basically, AI is about to 100x everything. Trump bumped it at the AI conference too, yeah. UNH might be a short coming up here. All right, I'm shorting UNH. Same bounce short idea from yesterday. Yesterday I had a super nice bounce short off of that news. Came down. So today, I don't know, maybe it's a similar situation. Small caps doing nothing. We'll see if it can break low a day. Scotty short Nvidia, 174.63. High day risk. Good luck, sir. I see the breakdown pullback. I do see that. UNH SIG just triggered for a short. All the opportunities in the big caps today. Honestly, I'm watching CoreWeave. CoreWeave is going to be kind of an interesting one to keep an eye on because this is a new chart. It's a fresh chart, and maybe it got ahead of itself a little bit, but this could end up holding somewhere, and then potentially, I don't know, this could keep going higher once it finds the low. We'll see where it shakes out, but I don't know. Depends if it crashes all the way down. I don't know. Maybe we have a eventual bottom in there. I'm thinking kind of long-term swing on this, maybe. Hood super impressive. Will Coinbase follow? I wonder. So Nvidia pulling back some there. Maybe it just came through a little bit more than expected. UNH needs to crack 281 for the short to work. Yeah. Not going down easy, is it? I'm gonna risk near high day. Wow, hood at 104 now. That was the trade of the day right there. Hey, at least you were in it, Scotty. I wasn't even in it, so I totally missed it. We even talked about it in pre-market, and I still missed it. So at least you got a piece of it. That's nice. You never know how high these things go. Another thing it's got going for it is it had this bigger trend break, which that's the one I traded yesterday. And then today it had the smaller trend break. So you got a smaller trend break on top of a bigger trend break. Usually works pretty good. Yeah, plus that horizontal held up. This is kind of the move I was hoping for yesterday, but it played out today. So something to keep in mind too. If you get a bigger trend break and it doesn't have the real follow through yet, it might happen the next day. Might even be a case to just swing it because you don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but you kind of have an idea of how much follow through it should have. And if it doesn't give the follow through on day one, maybe just swing it, or maybe sell half and swing half, because it could always gap up too. And then if it gaps, then you're just going to miss. This one's set up nice on day two, so you could get in on day two, but there's a chance that you can't get in on day two. So it might be a case for swinging if it sets up like that. UNH holding up kind of well. I'm gonna flip back to the 10 minutes so I don't fake myself out. Out NVIDIA, okay. NVIDIA fighting a bit, coming back up. All right, I like this top wick on UNH for the short setup. I would love to see that top wick be the top of the bounce here. We'll see what it wants to do. It looks like it's holding up pretty good so far. All right, since we are sort of late morning, these SIGs tend to want to bounce around a little bit more. Early morning, you kind of get red candle into red candle. Later in the morning, it seems to want to bounce around first, but usually still eventually gives the follow through, so it may be better to enter into more of a bounce. I am trying to hold for that green SIG target, at least. We'll see if it wants to give it up. I don't know. It's holding up kind of well. Tesla possibly setting up for a short for a day trade. All right, gotta get going. Gonna call it there. Just gonna write out this UNH trade. I have some GoPro short, so we'll see how those play out. Maybe something else will pop up. It's been kind of a slow morning, but gonna call it there. Good luck, everyone. We'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend.